Hello guys and welcome back to a new video. My name is Pips, co-founder of PropsMadness and professional sports bettor. Guys, we are getting fucked lately. Out of our last 22 losses, 11 were on hook. So half the bets we lost by 1 point assist to a rebound. It's absolutely insane luck lately. Also, from the other half of the bets that weren't hooks, we had that insane loss on DeRozan playing only 18 minutes, a couple of blowouts. So yeah, things are not going our way. Last night we had 4 bets, 2 of them easy wins on Paolo Banchero and Mark Williams. Paolo Banchero 17 points and Mark Williams we bet over 11.5 points. He had 24, so covered his line twice. But the losers, once again, Tobias Harris over 17.5 points and rebounds, hooked us with 17 shooting, 4 from 13 from the floor. And the second loser was on Black, 0 from 6 from behind the 3-point line. If we take a look into the Props Madness, and let's now look Anthony Black when he gets 5 to 6, and he had 6 last night. In those games, he covered this line in 70% of the games. Last night, he shot 0 from 6. The things are not going our way, but we have great bets. If I had the chance to bet these guys over again, I will do it because I definitely think long term these are amazing bets. And let's now jump into today's slate. I'll have 4 official bets today, so make sure to stay tuned. And my first bet is coming from the game Pelicans against the Bucks, and it's AJ Green over 2.5 threes. A bit juiced, but pretty widely available between minus 136 and minus 145, which is the range I will bet. So, looking on the season, when he gets expected minutes, which is 28 or more minutes, we can see that he covered this line in 20 out of 26 games, 77% win rate. Absolutely insane win rate. But looking at the matchup, he is now facing the team that allows second most threes, fifth most to his position, third most catch and shoot, second most overall in transition points. So absolutely amazing matchup for AJ Green and great hit rate. Bunch of players questionable. No Giannis, probably no Kevin Porter Jr. as well. Bobby Portis also questionable. So bunch of players out. He should have secured 30 plus minutes and he's now in a great matchup. So they should run a ton of offense through him because they're missing so many key offensive players. If we take a look at similar players by position, we can see that 11 out of 15 cover their lines against the Pelicans. So yeah, our first official bet, AJ Green over 1.5 threes. For our second official bet, we are going to another shooter, and that's Sam Merrill from the Cleveland Cavaliers. There is no Garland, he got traded. There is no Mobley, he is injured. Hunter got traded. So the 3 out of top 4 offensive guys on the Cleveland Cavaliers are out, and we now get a decent matchup for Sam Merrill. On the season, when he gets 25 or more minutes, he covered this line in 16 out of 20 games. And most of these games were with those guys in, and now they're out. So he's kind of second scoring option on the team now, and I love this for Sam Merrill. Clippers are ranked 17 against his position. If we exclude top 10 teams against his position, he covered this line in 12 out of 13 games, averaging 16.3 points a game. And we have 11.5 line with those players out, which is great. We can see that he scores 70% of his points from the above the break 3. They allow 5th most above the break 3s. They also allow 19th most catch and shoot. They are bottom 5 in pull-ups allowed. They allow average spot up. So this matchup looks really good. Like I would say above average matchup and a great spot with minutes coming his way and usage coming his way. So I think this line is way too low. So our second official bet, Sam Merrill over 11.5 points, widely available at minus 180. Guys, before we dive into our third official bet, make sure to subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. I know we are on a kind of poor unlucky run lately, but let's bring those likes and comments numbers up for a good luck. For the third official bet, I'm going to Celtics against the Houston Rockets and my guy Tari Eason over points and rebounds, over 18.5 points and rebounds, pretty much widely available up to minus 115. So loving this part for Tari Eason because If you take a look on the entire season, he's averaging 18 points and rebounds per game, but only in 24 minutes. And if we scale that number up to 32 minutes, which I think he is getting tonight, then he will average 24 points and rebounds per 32 minutes this season, and we are getting 18 and a half. In a decent matchup, we can see that similar players did great against the Celtics. 10 out of 15 covered. They had 20% more points and rebounds against them. If you take a look at points only, similar players by PropsMadness covering 5 out of 7, 35% more points than their closing lines. And looking at by position, 9 out of 15 covered, and as well 24% more points than their closing lines. Looking at the rebounds as well, we can see by position, 12 out of the last 15 forwards covered their rebounding lines against the Celtics, averaging 39% more rebounds than their closing lines. So it's absolutely great. Similar players did great against the Boston Celtics this season, and Tari Eason himself did great against them earlier this season. He had 18 points and rebounds against the Celtics earlier this season. Only played 20 minutes because it was a huge blowout. And now when he gets 30 plus, that should be absolutely a smash spot. Also, let's now look at the games when Tyree Eason gets 26 or more minutes. And in those minutes, we can see he covered this line in 11 out of 13 games, averaging 21.5 points and rebounds a game. So he's been cooking this line when he gets the minutes. And not only that, he will get 26 tonight. I see him maybe even closer to 34 because Houston Rockets roster is not that deep. We can look at the team. We can see KD, Şengün, Amen, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, and Rich Shepard. That's 6 guys that need to play heavy minutes because Adams is out, Dorian Finney-Smith is out, so they have like Okoji, Capella. I don't see those guys playing big minutes. So top 6 players needs to play heavy minutes, and I definitely think Tari Eason will get 32 or more minutes tonight. And for our fourth official bet, we are going to Barrett against the Wolves, points and assist, over 20.5 points and assist, minus 115 to minus 120, wildly available. Shop around, maybe you can even find 19.5. But last 2 games, we can see AJ Barrett played 28 minutes against the Jazz, and game before that played 31 minutes against Orlando. So he's kind of out of big minute restriction. So when we take a look on the games when he gets 26 or more minutes on the season with Ingram, Barnes, and Sandro playing, we can see that he covered this line in 16 out of 20 games, averaging 24 points and assists per 31 minutes, which is I can see him getting 30 minutes tonight. So that's probably like 24 points and assist average. And the matchup is actually pretty good. Like Wolves defense on the season, they take a look, they are ranked 9th best, but last couple of games they've been horrible. They allow Memphis to score 120 and 130 points on them, which is absolutely insane. If you take a look over the last 15 games, we can see that they are ranked 12th in defensive rating, which is just average. They allow 5th most assists. They allow 5th most points at the rim, where RJ Barrett scores most of his points. They are kind of below average in catch and shoot as well. You can see that they are ranked 18 against points under 10 feet, where he scores 60% of his points. So they are average or below average in like 90% of his points are coming from, and also allow 5th most assists, which is great. Especially he gets some run in the second unit when Gobert sits, and then without Gobert on the court, they are one of the worst defensive teams in the league. Also, they'll probably have their best defensive player, Jaden McDaniels, fighting against Ingram, and then RJ Barrett probably getting a much better matchup. But another thing that looks great, if you take a look on the entire season, we can see that Wolves play at 10th highest pace. But looking at the last 15 games, they increased to 3rd highest pace, and RJ Barrett scores most of his points from transition. On the entire season, Wolves are allowing 8 most transition points, but I think that number goes even higher over the last couple of games because they started playing at a higher pace and started giving up more rim points, which probably correlated with them giving more transition points. Also, they allow ton of free throws, ton of handoff points, and the most points to pick and roll ball handlers. So absolutely amazing spot for RJ Barrett, and that's our fourth official bet. For one of my leans, I'll go to the Thunder against the Spurs, and we can see there is a line for Isaiah Hartenstein, but he just recently came back from the injury, was questionable last night, and this is now back to back, so I could see him sit. And then this becomes a great spot for Jaylin Williams. As we can see, last couple of games he played 27, 27, 24 minutes, and last night in the blowout only 17. If Hartenstein sits tonight, and I think there's like 80% chance for it, he could be in another spot where he gets 20 to 30 minutes. And if you take a look on the entire season, when he gets those minutes, which is 20 to 30, he's averaging 6.9 points, but I'm angling the rebounds, and in those minutes, he's averaging 6.2 rebounds a game and covered this line in 70% of the games. And you can see similar player by position in January killing this line against them. They covered in 8 out of the last 9 games. Looking at the last time they played the Spurs, he had 10 rebounds in that game. Chet Holmgren probably heavily fighting to box out Wemby, and then Jaylin Williams helped him inside and getting those rebounds. So that would be my lean. Monitor the situation for Hartenstein, but I think this makes sense. Also, combining his over 6.5 points with over 4.5 rebounds pays plus 179. And if Hartenstein is out, this has a great chance of hitting. Adding threes, like 2+ threes as well, could also be great for a great number. So this is my lean, and it could be great spot if Hartenstein is out. And that's it, guys. We came to the end of another show. See ya tomorrow.